Yo guys, today we are talking about how to prepare for Duo FNCS in Season 3. With the major tournament coming up in only 21 days, it's about time we start grinding towards making this our best FNCS yet. Starting off this video, I want to talk about VOD reviewing great fighters and having a look at how they play out their fights in duos. Now that there is no movement in the game, being a good fighter is more important than ever. A ton of people stay stuck on the same level when it comes to fighting for many months on end. And one reason for that is because they don't take some time out of their day to watch fighters who are better than them and try to adapt some of their fighting strategies. If you need some good fighters to look at, I highly recommend checking out specifically how Cold, or Cold FV1 on Twitch, plays his fights. Qual has a very replicable fighting style, and the reason Qual is such an amazing fighter is more because of his tempo and fighting mentality rather than his insanely fast mechanics and incredible aim. Don't get me wrong here, Qual has some of the best aim in the game, but how he thinks in fights is nearly unmatched. Watching through 20 minutes of Qual's VODs every day and seeing him fight, trying to understand his movement, his tempo, and by tempo I mean when he plays aggressively and when he plays defensively or slowly, and what kind of peaks he makes, I can guarantee you will see quite a lot of improvement in your fighting. The second thing you want to try to do is play quite a lot of solo arena and VOD review your deaths. And I know a lot of you boys are already on your way to the comment section about to comment, why would you VOD review in solo arena? That is so cringe. Well, let me tell you, VOD reviewing in solo arena can be highly beneficial for your fighting abilities in the game. What you should go over when VOD reviewing your deaths is how good was your peaks and how could you have improved them? Could you have chopped down the fight? Chopping is of course one of the most effective ways to win fights. Could you have gotten any opening shots before you actually did? How was your tempo in comparison to your health? When you played fast and aggressively, did you have the needed shields to back up your playstyle? And lastly, did you go for counter damage shots every opportunity you got? Or did you miss out on any free counter damage opportunities? What I mean by counter damage opportunities is, for instance, when your opponent double pickaxes your wall and you can get a free pre-fire shot with pretty much 0% chance of taking any damage back, or did you have 100% perfect right-hand peek opportunity you missed out on? VOD reviewing in arena is something only maybe 5% of you guys watching will end up doing consistently. But if you end up doing it, you'll learn so much in such a short period of time. Remember, when watching over your arena games, you first want to look at yourself and think how you could have played differently, and then you want to look over how your opponent played from his perspective and see how he actually beat you. Did he get free shots? Did he do a smart strategy that you can steal? Or maybe you'll notice something you've never seen before. As you all know, I strongly recommend setting a daily goal of 40 kills in solo arena. And this is of course if you want to make it to a really high level in this game. Moving on, I strongly suggest landing a drop spot where you can get the grapple gloves. When I earlier in this video said that we're in a no movement meta, I lied. Grapple gloves, or Spider-Man as a lot of people call it, is in the game and can be found at these spots. Grapple gloves is unarguably the meta, and landing a spot where both you and your duo can get your hands on this item will make your chances of doing great this season at least twice as high. Grapple gloves is one of those items you'll regret not playing in the future because of how much easier the game ends up being. With grapple gloves, you can pretty much use nomads in first and second moving, meaning you'll get into third moving with over 1,000 mats each. There's no question about it. I'll land somewhere where me and Ambox can get this item every game. It wouldn't be an FNCS preparation video without talking about the importance of playing customs daily. If you want to do really well this FNCS, you need to play customs every day until the tournament starts. 5 endgames is what most players get during FNCS Opens, Round 2, and Round 3. And if you can get in 5 customs every day until FNCS, you'll have more experience in endgames than most of the players you're playing against. When playing endgame, you want to try new types of strategies. Try following tarps. Try playing high ground. Try playing low ground, try playing harpoons, try playing double SMG, try everything you think might benefit you in FNCS and see how it works out. Trust me, if you do all of this, you'll end up doing really good this FNCS. Another thing you can do in preparation for FNCS is make a super solid game plan. Making a game plan will minimize RNG as much as possible. I know a lot of you guys watching have probably been in a situation where you haven't qualified for an event, even though you are more than good enough. And that feeling really sucks. Making a game plan is something that takes very little effort, but can help you out tremendously in the form of performance. An example of a game plan could be to rotate from your drop spot when the first zone starts pulling, and making a map with the best hills you can sit on near your drop spot. Then in the second zone all the way until 50-50, you want to play dead side. Of course, rotating this early also means you have to practice looting and farming at your spot to make it as effective as possible. This can simply be done in arena or customs if you have a creator code. Next up, I want to quickly say that in opens in FNCS, all you have to do is play consistently. And this sounds obvious, but a lot of players take so many unnecessary risks, and it's so far from necessary to qualify. In round 1 and 2, you'll make it through as long as you play your mats. However, in round 3 is where you want to start taking risks. Full cranking for high ground if you have a lot of mats in first or second moving, pre-editing on teams in 50-50, and going for some kills is 100% worth it in round 3. That is because only 50 teams from the top 500 teams that qualified make it through to the finals. In round 1, all you need to do is play your mats and play it relatively safe from the very start to the very end. You don't even close to need a high kill win in your first game to make it to round 2. Practicing SCUFFED edits is also something you want to include in your daily routine in preparation for FNCS. One death because of one missed edit is something we want to prevent to the highest extent possible. Most players never practice SCUFFED edits, but still spend a lot of time free building and just playing creative in general. When you play creative, you want to pretend like you are in stressful situations where you need to make some SCUFFED edits. In the background footage right now, I have a few examples of what kind of edits you can practice. Things like stair edits whilst you're in a box, editing walls whilst being pushed all the way up to them, or anything else you might feel the need to practice will help you get much more consistent in your fights. And you'll also find yourself surviving situations you might not would have survived in the past. The final thing you want to do in preparation for FNCS is having a consistent sleep schedule where you try your very best to go to sleep around the same time every night and wake up the same time every day. The reason this is so important is because consistency in your life creates consistency in your game. And listen guys, I'm not saying to go to bed at 9 o'clock. You can go to bed pretty much whenever you want. All I'm saying is try to make it a routine. Find a time that's sustainable because both how you play and learn gets heavily affected by your sleep quality. Wow, we went over a lot in today's video, so let's conclude it all quickly. It's important that you VOD review great fighters like qual to get a better fighting understanding, and learning new strategies to implement when practicing. Preferably watch his Twitch VODs when playing duos. When you've watched qual for a tiny bit of time, you want to hop into solo arena and VOD review your deaths, asking yourself why you died and what you could have done differently. You want to always stay away from excuses, as they don't get us anywhere. Now that you've got the fighting practice fundamentals in place, you want to try to learn a drop spot where you can get the grapple gloves, as this item will allow us to have a ton of mats into the third moving zone, essentially meaning we'll be playing the game on easy mode. Playing customs and practicing off spawn is also something you want to include in your routine to make sure you consistently survive getting the grapple gloves. If you do all of this with a super solid game plan, you'll definitely see success this season. In your free time, you want to consistently practice the difficult SCUFFED edits with a consistent sleep schedule. And the day of FNCS opens, just don't take any dumb unnecessary risks, and you'll definitely make it to round 2. I hope this video was of some help and that you enjoyed it. Please go on to have a wonderful day, everyone. My name is M1K3 Editz. Stay safe and take care.